There are so many mysteries in the world. How do we deal with those, especially the stressful ones that like aliens and cryptids?
Wow. I I think the ones that stress us can be very culturally oriented. In different parts of the world, sometimes you're told about bugaboos, things that will scare you, and sometimes it's just to keep kids in line. But there are specific entities and beings in areas of the world. And I won't get into that. That's a whole nother subject. But how do we deal with the mysteries? That's a great question. And I think, let me preface it by this. There are three big things: religion, sexuality, and politics, right? Those three big things in communication are things that were never discussed when I was growing up in the 1950s in Birmingham, Alabama. It wasn't polite, you just didn't do it. So people got along a lot better for good or ill. But those are all very emotional areas: your religion, your sexuality, and your politics. You are hardwired at a very young age to believe in certain things and in certain ways. You really are. And if you think that you're not, then try to spend a day with somebody who is totally opposite from you in religion, sexuality, or politics. It's going to be challenging. You can do it, but you might need a medic. And if you think you're free from that programming, look what happens. And this is for all of us: how reactive we get when we encounter that opposite. It's very interesting. Now, the degree that you get reactive or active depends on the programming, right? And it also depends on how well you can control yourself. So, after 60 seconds with those people, it's usually on. Most people can control themselves, really. The reptilian brain and the limbic system, they instigate that freeze, flight, fight pattern because that's exactly what's going on. And I think you feel the emotion of needing to protect yourself, your beliefs, and your all the ways that you deal with the world when you deal with that. And the same thing's true for cryptids. You are hardwired. That enemy is anybody or anything that threatens this hardwired political, sexual, religious, what you're afraid of, leaning. It's just how it is. It's a dogma. So, how do we resolve that? It's a vast wilderness of the unknown, right? Those mysteries. But we really don't resolve it. I think we have to adult. We have to use that part of our reasoning brain and settle into the comfort of the uncomfortable. I mean, how do you do that, if we're charged up? I think if we remain curious, open to new intel on that mysterious thing, what connects us, even if you're discussing one of the big three with other people, why are they interested in that? Before you take out your sword and you want to decapitate them, find out why they're really interested. You may be in a new mystery. But so we remain curious, open to new intel on that, and see if we can connect anything new to the forensics. The forensics are what's already happened. So, by connecting new information on cryptids or people or whatever, oftentimes we can comfort ourselves. And it's all about comfort, right? And honestly, we have to find something else to do because you can get really obsessed with this. If the mysteries control your emotions and your program patterns, they'll consume you, right? I get into that. I'm a research analyst. Oh my God. When I start, for example, studying a certain cryptid, I live, eat, and breathe it. My poor husband. Oh my God. But I will saturate my being with that, trying to understand what it is. But then I have to go do something, go down to the gym, Dolly, for God's sake. Go downstairs and sweat, get in the sauna, get this out of your system. But what if we don't get it out of our system? What if we become obsessed with the mystery or the cryptid or the alien? These are archetypal patterns which trigger us. So, once again, find something else to do. And if those mysteries are controlling our emotional body, aha, those are our patterns, right? And they'll consume us. But part of the mystery and the unknown, I think, is pursuing a balance with it. And a balanced state of mind. How does that fit into my life right now? Now, you might not want an evil thing fitting into your life, but it's already there. If you're thinking about it, it doesn't mean the thing is, but the idea is you're trying to make reason of it, right? So here's what I mean. These cryptids, the mysteries, the unknowns, they crash into our security of presence. They don't fit into the physical five senses, right? Once again, those mysteries, they don't go by the rules of the normal physical world. So we go to our situational awareness, our intuition, our spider senses to try to figure out what that is. That's a curiosity. Those three things are the absolute mystery: your intuition, your spider senses, your situational awareness. That's the real mystery because we're not taught in school to really access those information. We're not taught that. So think about the difference in feeling with, for example, I'm gonna work on my car. I'm gonna go plow snow. I'm gonna fix dinner. There is an alien in the backyard. There's a wolf man looking through the window. Really? It takes us out of time and space. So we have to find a way within ourselves when those things are not in our mind and we're in what I call normal workaday consciousness to build a spiritual value system that you go to. And I'm not talking about how you access the divine. I'm talking about how you access your frontal lobes. How can you be reasonable? If you're an artistic personality, you might be more woo woo than somebody like my husband, who is a very practical person with a lot of psychic skills. But where do you go to first when you're uncomfortable? You have to find some way of making that comfort, un- making that uncomfortable comfortable to you. Now, can you talk yourself out of it? Can you talk to other people? Can you say, I saw this and it was weird, or I read this and it is weird? Weird basically means it's not the five physical senses, right? So you don't want to isolate yourself with this. That's really toxic to do. A lot of folks, when they encounter the supernatural, those inner worlds, the great mysteries, they clam up because we are taught socially that if you appear wackadoodle, you could lose your job, you could lose your anything because the last place we want to go is the unseen, which is the mind. We want to appear that we have at least some kind of control over our thought process, our mind. So I can only tell you what I do, but I've been doing this for 50 years. And I've told y'all before, I used to have the bejesus scared out of me all the time. Oh my God, because I saw so much, I didn't understand it. And now I understand most of it. I don't know. A lot of it, yeah. But there are mysteries. That is something that I don't understand. Why the hell are there mysteries out there? What is the Loch Ness monster? What is all this stuff? Will we ever find out what these are? And isn't it amazing that we've gone to outer space and we don't know what this stuff is. So I don't know the answer to that. And the answer to that is more important to me than anything right now. And that is Zoli, calm down, find something else to do because pretty much you're not going to know. I think a lot of these mysteries are scheduled to be revealed when we are more mature spiritually, when the world is in a kinder place. That's my take on it. And I think about that stuff a lot because it's really my field. What do you think, Linda?
Well, it really fits that we need a kinder world in order for some of these truths to be revealed. And it also feels like for people who are curious and are interested in the mysteries, it's exactly what you said. You can get obsessed with it. And it's a lot to do with wanting to know the answer, wanting to find the truth.
Well, we do. We humans are curious creatures. We want to know truths about things. And those things we want to know truths about so it doesn't scare the crap out of us. You know, what if they find out? Let's play a silly game. The Loch Ness monster and these things in the water that are long and appear snake like or humped or whatever with a head. What if we find out that really there are these underwater crazy caves or access to the open oceans, and there aren't that many of them, but there are enough of them to where they can pop up every now and then. Now, I don't think those beings say, well, at 4:32 on a Thursday, I'm going to show up and they can get a picture of me. So they probably show up a hell of a lot more than we think. But knowing what I know about theosophy, which is not that much really because the world's a mysterious place, I would say that we reach points to where the trifecta of God, Holy Spirit, and Christ within us will calm us to the point that we can accept the truth.
And that will take more maturing as humanity, as you mentioned, because we like to what you were talking about earlier, and the dogmas and the our beliefs and our preconditioning that we like to live in because it makes us comfortable.
Well, it's just human nature. And I know I harp on this, but I really do. I love the grace and the simplicity of my dotage here, my latter years being able to feel good and comfortable to say it's just human nature. It's just the nature of people to do this, or this. Now, I'm not talking about the awful things that can be done, but I'm talking about our emotions, accessing fear, obligation, and guilt, accessing freeze, flight, fight. We do these things because we really are programmed. And once we can understand that we're not going to get it all and we don't have to get it all, then I think it'll be easier to settle into the comfort of it's okay, give it time.